So, here we are. We're on our adventure. We're just starting off. Winnie's ready to go. I'm sure she's excited. We have a couple of hours of driving. 2 hours and 6 minutes according to the GPS. So we're going to be heading west to Upsala, which is past Wraith. And we're going to have to drive a little bit in from Upsala to get to the railway grade.
In 1.5 kilometers, turn right on 61.
So from my house, there's kind of a little bit of a back route to kind of get up to the highway. So we're going to drive through Slate River and Kekabeka. Hopefully the weather cooperates with us. It's not supposed to rain. Fingers crossed. It's going to be an interesting couple of days. Tomorrow is going to be very cold, and there's a chance of like -1. The temperature's supposed to drop throughout the day today, and it's supposed to be like -1 tomorrow. There's a chance of like flurries, and that's typical for this this weekend. You get like every season, so this is the May long weekend. So Victoria Day long weekend, or May 2-4 long weekend. So this is the holiday weekend here in Canada.
In
Canada,
400 meters, turn right on 61.
If you're not familiar with Canada, this is kind of our holiday weekend in May. Basically, the holiday was created in honor of Queen Victoria. So, I guess thanks to, well, not thanks to her, but in honor of her, thanks to the government.
Turn right on 61.
So, today's supposed to be cloudy, and tomorrow there's a chance of flurries, and then Monday is supposed to be like bright and sunny and warm. So typical long weekend. Hi, Lud. Gonna come in for a cuddle here. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll switch off, and we'll come back in a bit. All right. So we are trucking along here. We are approaching the community of Stanley, and I thought it'd be kind of neat to record a little bit here because we're actually going to be crossing another former railway grade here. We are going to be passing the Port Arthur, Duluth, and Western. At Stanley, first we have to cross
in 400 meters, turn right on 588.
The Kaministiquia River. We're actually going to pass the Cam twice because we have to pass it here, and then we'll pass it again in Kekabeka.
Turn right on 588.
Kaministiquia. This is the
in 2 kilometers, turn left on 11.
It was formed by the confluence of the Dog and the Matawan. Dog coming out of Dog Lake, and the Matawan kind of mishmash of rivers. Big one coming out of Shabadwan Lake, which is familiar to me. We just passed the at the intersection there. We just passed the Port Arthur, Duluth, and Western grade. All right, so we'll switch back on when we get to Kekabeka. So, quick little burst later here. We are approaching the community of Kekabeka Falls, just Kekabeka. Municipality of Oliver, which is just to the west of Thunder Bay. So this community here is most famous for a tourist attraction that is just the it came up from the south off the Port Arthur, Duluth, and Western and crossed right here, and then went to the west, and then between 1909 and 1911 it was rerouted. That part of the grade was abandoned. So this is the little village. Gas stations, a few restaurants, a few little shops and things like that. There's a school. There's also a hydroelectric generating station just to the south here, just right beside the river. Some upgrades on it. So the big attraction here, and it's one of the big attractions in the area, is the waterfall. Kakabeka Falls is named after Kakabeka Falls. And so it is a provincial park. It's a day-use park, but it also has camping sites and things. And again, it's a big tourist attraction. I think it's the second biggest waterfall in Ontario after Niagara Falls. It's often called the Niagara of the North. So here we're passing over the river. This water's up as it's spring, but it will diminish as the months go on into summer and fall. Okay, so we'll shut off for now. We'll come back when we get to Chappaqua. So, back on here, we are passing a place called Chappaqua, Ontario, which is basically a little dot on the map. I'm sure there was probably more here back in days past with the railway logging and things like that. You're going to see it coming up momentarily here on the right side, the north side of the road, but kind of passes for what is here now. There are some homes and things like that on the south side, closer to the river. But this is basically what you see on the highway here. So there's a little sort of stop here. I don't know if there's still a restaurant. There used to be a restaurant here and an LCBO, and there's a motel. Brake lights are coming on here, and there's a OPP station, Ontario Provincial Police. If you don't know what that stands for, my dad used to call it the PP. So probably the big thing that Chappaqua is known for today is it's where the highway splits. And so basically there's two highways across Ontario, or this part of Ontario. There's Highway 11 and there's Highway 17. So what happens is that they're two separate highways until you get to Nipigon, which is east of Thunder Bay, and they come together. And they're together all the way from Nipigon through Thunder Bay to here, and then it splits right back there. And so Highway 17, which we're on here, continues to Upsala, Ignace, Dryden, Kenora, Winnipeg. The Highway 11, which just runs to the south, basically continues on to Atikokan, Fort Francis, Rainy River, crosses into the United States, and then basically runs through part of the United States, crosses back into Canada, south of Winnipeg, and then goes up into Winnipeg. So it's kind of the southern route to Winnipeg. And so obviously, again, we're on the northern route. We're on Highway 17, and we're going to be pushing past what is known as Wraith, which again had more people at it back in the days past. Today Pacific Railway. Used to be a stop on the Canadian National Railway, formerly the Grand Trunk Pacific Railway, but obviously no longer, which is the reason why we're heading out into this area here. Some traffic this morning, so today again is the Saturday of the long weekend. It is the fishing opener here in Canada, here in Ontario, and so there's lots of people that are heading out to, as we call, if you've probably heard this before, watched the videos, the camp. We don't call it a cottage or a cabin up here in the Northwest. It's a camp. So people are heading out to camp, people are heading to go fishing, etc., etc. So it'll be sort of a busy weekend for some people. And, so coming up at Wraith is actually the watershed. So when you hit Wraith, basically that is the dividing point for where the water flows, and so the water from here eastward to Thunder Bay in this area here flows into Lake Superior and eventually into the Atlantic Ocean. Everything, I'm losing my camera here, everything on the other side of Wraith flows to the north, eventually into Hudson's Bay and eventually into the Arctic Ocean. So basically it is the dividing line. It's called the watershed, Heideplan, right? So basically it's the dividing point for where the water will flow. All right, so according to the GPS, we've got about another hour and 10 minutes to go. We'll come back when we get to Upsala, and because we'll have to sort of turn off the highway in Upsala and start heading up heading up Newmac Road. Lost the camera here. Heading up Newmac Road towards the railway grade. So we've arrived in Upsala. The name Upsala is Swedish, Scandinavian anyway. Momentarily here, we are going to be turning to the right, turning to the north. You can see the Canadian Pacific Kansas City beside us. All right, we're rolling again. Unfortunately, I went to go literally just before we turned off on the road. The battery in the other camera died. It's my old GoPro. The battery's not super fantastic, or the batteries. It's kind of annoying because there's a light little mist coming down, and I hope that clears up. What the heck is this? Heron? Some sort of bird.
Turn right on Cuthbert Road.
Crossing the Canadian Pacific, Kansas City here. Let's hope I remember how to get there, because I've literally been down this road twice. Once coming towards the highway and once going to the highway. You can see how the vegetation is just exploded. There were no leaves out last week. It has just exploded in the last couple of days. It was warm Sunday, Monday, Tuesday into Wednesday, and like all of the leaves are starting to pop, and that is problematic for us for our hiking, because we want to be able to see things in the bush, and when the leaves come out, that causes problems for us. Again, well, it says we're on Newmac Road. Fingers crossed. Like I said, I've literally come down this road twice. There are twists and turns. So it's called Numac, N-U-M-A-C, because there was a road called Mac Road that goes further to the west and comes out on the railway grade as well, closer to Mac Station. This one comes out closer to Larson. That's where we're going to be starting our hike today. Pressure differential. What's the matter? What's the matter, Lynn? I really hope this spitting stops. It is 7:34 Thunder Bay time. 6:34 local time. Oh, look out the window. Dog gets so fancy. So going back to the vegetation, like, we've literally had, unfortunately I was out of town the first week in May, so there was no chance that I could hike that weekend, but I don't even know if the snow had all gone away. There was snow at the end of April, and so literally we have gone from snow to within a couple of weeks the leaves have come out. Like, this is the challenge that we have when we're trying to hike. Just the weather isn't always cooperative. Like last year we had a long spring because there wasn't as much snow. And the leaves literally came out around the same time here, but we had weeks before that that we could get out. So it does make things very frustrating. So quite literally we've had 2 weeks that we've been able to hike, and fingers crossed. Last weekend we managed. Some crazy weather on the Sunday where it was like freezing cold in the morning, and then by the afternoon it was like 28 degrees. See, the problem is when all the stuff on the sides, the leaves come out, it makes it really hard to see anything in the brush. And this has all come out this week. Just had that super warm weather. ground. Joys of having to rely on Mother Nature here. Okay, just relax. Oh, you're huffing here. Even the tamaracks, I think, are starting to pop. So I open the window for the dog. She likes to look out, and she's not looking out. Everybody's frustrated. And so with the weather, so like I said, last Sunday when I left here, my truck said 28 degrees, and then it was warm on Monday, Tuesday, I think into Wednesday. Tonight, it's the temperature today. Right now, it says it's 9. The temperature is supposed to drop throughout the day, which is kind of an anomaly. It's not a normal weather pattern. And then overnight, it's supposed to dip below zero, and there's a chance of flurries. So we're hiking tomorrow. We're actually going to be coming up this road again, and then we're going to be driving up past Mac to start our hike. And there's a chance of, like, depending on what happens, there might be some snow flurries coming down, like even to the point where it might accumulate a little bit on the ground, which I hope it doesn't. I might actually cry. Because Monday's supposed to be nice. It's supposed to be sunny, but that's not ideal for what we want to do. Like, this is the perfect, where you get a little bit of cloud here. Look out the window. You see she's out the window. There she is.
kilometers. Keep left to Newmack Road. Keep left to Newmack Road.
These access roads, logging roads.
Continue on Newmack Road.
8 kilometers to go. Oh, stop it. What are you whining about? Do you have to go to the potty? Okay. We're getting there. Hi. Hi. We're getting there. I'm traveling with a little kid here. Are we there yet? Are we there yet? How much farther, Papa Smurf? Some of you might get that reference. Depends how old you are. Some of us are Gen Xers. Still misting a bit. Okay. 7 kilometers to go. Shush. Okay. Dog's driving me nuts. Okay. I'm going. Can't go any faster. Okay, do that. Always love these little bridge crossings in the middle of nowhere here. This mist is bugging me here. What I should do is turn the GPS on so she's ready to go. Yeah, that mist is making me crazy. be insane. It's really starting to pick up. See how it's... See it. This is not going to be good if this doesn't stop for our hike. Ruts there. Degrees. Mist is picked up. Wow, this road's getting worse here. There. Less than 2 kilometers now.
meters. Arrive at Larson Access 1 on the right.
All right. 167 kilometers later, we have arrived.
Arriving at Larson Access 1 on the right.
Place to park here. On the side without mangling my truck. Okay, so hopefully you've enjoyed our little adventure here. Hopefully the weather cooperates, and hopefully we have a good hike. So we'll head back for the debrief.